Dr. Xavier-Lewis Palmer, and I'm happy to present for Blacks in Cybersecurity's Winter Conference 2023. I welcome you to this talk, Simplifying Graduate School, and I encourage you to stay for questions. In this talk, you'll get a deeper introduction into who I am and my qualifications for this talk, followed by what graduate school is, essentials needed to get your degree, ways to speed up the process, reasons for which you might prefer the longer route, additional tips and tricks, my contacts, but also an open question period. Here you can ask things that are unaddressed in the slides to follow. By day, I'm a data curator. Prior to getting here, I completed a PhD in engineering, specifically in biomedical engineering, and my dissertation involved a lot of 3D bioprinting of organs and tumoroids to better help us understand the control of cell fate. Prior to this program, I have a master's in cybersecurity with a project focus on biocybersecurity, a master's in biotechnology with a project focus on polymer airbrushing. This particular master's was an accelerated program that was completed in the space of 16 months. Prior to that, I have a bachelor's of science in biology with a minor in biomedical engineering and a bachelor's of the arts in philosophy with a minor in electrical engineering technology. Notable work experience of mine include work at the National Institute of Standards and Technology, the American Dental Association Research Foundation, and the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. For likes, well, you can probably tell, I like mentoring and supporting STEAM initiatives. When I'm not doing that, you can find me reading a variety of books, but also listening to music. I love all genres. I also love just getting into interdisciplinary fields. So thus, I am intrigued with cyber biosecurity and biocybersecurity. These terms are used interchangeably, but there is some discussion about how these may be used differently, which will be interesting to see play out. Graduate school is a post-bachelor's education that you can pursue after the completion of your undergraduate degree. You can also pursue this through a linked program by which you can pursue both your undergraduate and graduate degree at the same time. Linked programs can be attempted in your junior or senior years. For graduate degrees, you can expect specialized courses. Through the path of research, you can be expected to complete a thesis or a dissertation. You might find yourself writing anywhere from 40 to 400 words, depending on the program. Plus, you'll be expected to do a public defense of your work. Not all graduate programs require research, and such may require you to take more courses or have extended practical training through internships, co-ops, or otherwise. Graduate school can be pretty expensive if it's poorly planned, or if the program or school chosen is highly selective and highly specialized. However, you may not need such a highly selective or highly specialized program. You can choose an inexpensive route and still do very well for yourself. Keep in mind that the costs in time can be relatively short to very long. Graduate certificates, for example, could be completed in less than a year, but they can also take up to 2 years, depending on which one you choose. Whereas if you're choosing a combined program such as an MD PhD, you can expect anywhere between 5 and 10 years. Overall, graduate school requires dedication, specialized knowledge, self-direction, grit, competition, and patience. Graduate school can lead to tremendous success and new ventures, but this depends largely on how well you market yourself and what you learn. Think of it like this. If people don't know you exist, or if they don't know what you worked on, how will it be easy for them to know to hire you? The essentials for the advanced degree are to earn your bachelor's degree or at least be in a linked program. Choose your field of study and your advanced degree program. Complete your coursework. These will form your foundation with the skills, insight, and practice to complete your program project. Ensure that you pass your qualifying exams. These will test your knowledge and understanding in your field of study, and these qualifying exams may be at the beginning, the middle, in the end, or in a combination. You may have to conduct original research or your program's capstone project. Be sure to understand the requirements of your program. To speed up the process, select a program that's in range of what you want. You may not find the exact program that you're originally looking for. However, if you choose a decent graduate school program, it should imbue you with the skills you need in order to adapt yourself for the exact discipline that you want. Next, talk with an admissions or grad school professional. They can give you the necessary documentation as well as connect you to key people involved with the program that you're interested in. Next, read the documentation behind the program. It'll help you identify optimal ways by which you can complete your specific program. But then talk with a graduate program coordinator or director for what's new. You may find that some of the documentation may be a bit outdated, or there's something new coming up that you might be interested in. Make sure to find a plan to pay for education. Stress and disruption from non-payment issues can create roadblocks for your work. Also, identify a mentor and try to select for compatibility. Incompatibility can create problems for your study path. Remember, the lab fit is not as important as the mentor fit. Your mentor will be reviewing your work, will be guiding you, and also signing off on each step of the way. You want to select someone that you can work with. It's also important to talk to grad students about their experiences. They can give you additional information to allow you to make a more well-rounded decision. You're encouraged to look for opportunities to count and transfer current and prior experience. Some schools allow you to substitute work experience for coursework credits. Some schools have a high threshold on credits you can transfer. Look for alternative semesters by which you can gain credits also. You can take Maymester, winter semester, or other courses that are in between traditional semesters. These are accelerated, but they can offer meaningful credits that may allow you to cut an additional semester. Further, look for opportunities to shorten the path in your core project. Ask if there is an accelerated version of your project, but also be honest with yourself with regards to if you can handle the pressure. Further, ask if multiple candidacy paths exist, but also ask if you still need a dissertation or thesis project if you've already have several publications. You may find that by the time you've entered, maybe your school's policy may have changed, and you might have enough to graduate. For those in research, it's recommended that you aim to assess 5 to 15 papers a week. This way you broaden your foundation, but also your depth and understanding of your particular field. I'm not saying thoroughly go through each paper, but skim some, but go deep in others. You'll find that some papers are worth it, and some aren't so. I also recommend not overthinking the working of your literature review. It's better than you start than to just get stuck in analysis paralysis. When you're looking at these literature reviews, focus on the deep questions that are asked, but also get an idea of the wider layout of the field. Ask your colleagues and ask your mentors with regards to literature reviews that they particularly like, and study how those literature reviews are designed. Your first literature review may result in your first publication, and it can go a long ways into helping you decide how you want to structure your upcoming projects. But further, as you look at other papers that are not literature reviews, study the future works and discussion sections of the publications that you read. These can help you understand the gaps that exist, and they can also help you understand key classes that you might want to take so that you can potentially answer those gaps in knowledge. This is additionally vital for PhD students aiming for their specific aims section because you'll be able to understand areas that are of vital interest to your field, but also you'll be able to get an idea of what is in the range that your lab can tackle. You're encouraged to talk to your classmates and colleagues. They can offer more specific information and help you avoid their mistakes. You're encouraged to listen well to any conversation about research, about research techniques, classes, or just general graduate life. You can learn a lot. You're also recommended to use tools to reduce your workload. This builds your competency and lets you keep pace with others. These tools should be a complement, but not a replacement for skill and understanding. Working with integrity is always encouraged. I'll also add it is important to use a reference manager. They are very helpful with managing your papers, but also completing the papers, especially when you need to keep track of specific citations. As you communicate with your professors and mentors, remember that they are human and they will make mistakes, but also some of their methods may be outdated. You're encouraged to appreciate the value in learning the traditional methods, but also learning the improved ways of doing a task as well. But also, you're encouraged to appreciate the value in communicating differences to your professors and mentors. Next, you're encouraged to refuse perfection if it is at the cost of completion. You're to be trained to complete independent research in your dissertation or thesis, and it's a product of training. Don't expect perfection. This can unnecessarily delay you. Remember that. There are plenty of good reasons for which you might not want the hyper-optimized route. I mean, for mental health purposes, it might benefit you to take a longer path. But also keep in mind that it is okay if you have to change your laboratory environment or have to change your program. There are a lot of things that can necessitate taking that additional time and making changes which result in that additional time. And taking additional time in general, you have more time to develop yourself and path. You can get on special papers from special projects that may not happen again or may not have a follow-up. You can also take special classes that might be on like a 2 year or 3 year loop. Sometimes that extra semester, just so you can make that connection and get in on that research or get in on that class material is worth it. But then also, there's additional opportunities to collaborate and build a presence. You can teach classes, help develop programs, depending on the program that you're in. You can work in various student groups and just better understand your field from the university perspective. But also, there are a lot of opportunities to go to conferences and present. Some of these conferences are on a 2 year loop and maybe even longer, and sticking it out for that additional semester or two might allow you to present and make those ideal connections you need in your field. But all of this is context dependent, so ask yourself how important it is to your goal that you stay longer. For some tips in the process, I recommend seeking waivers for applications and testing fees. It's possible to get plenty if you talk to professionals in admissions or the grad school. School fairs are great places to gain these codes and procedures to reduce your costs. In terms of alternative funding, try to get your job to pay for it if possible. Look to your company's education bonus, but just also be ready to justify how it increases your company's return on investment. If possible, also seek an assistantship. Many can cover 80 to 100% of tuition plus a stipend. However, some of these do discourage outside employment, so do check your policies. But also look into if you can apply your tuition reimbursement from your assistantship to courses outside your degree. It's possible if you have another degree or specialization in mind, and it's possible to get 2 degrees during the same period in which you expect to just get one. But also, make sure to fill out your FAFSA and look for special grants. You'll find there's a lot of money available to pay for graduate school if you're willing to look deeply. Is building your portfolio and networking capabilities. For this, create a profile on the platform that showcases your skills, relevant to your discipline, of course. Good examples are LinkedIn, GitHub, Orchid, Google Scholar, ResearchGate, and more. Few will appreciate your skills if they do not know you or don't even have an ability to access any of the work that you create. Additionally, focus on translatability. How you can translate your skills and expertise to jobs that exist is more important than your research. You should also not expect to stay in your area of graduate work either. Finally, consider training other students in the process of what you do, but also on the way out. You may make great connections and help them avoid a lot of problems in graduate school as well. Thank you for attending. If you have any questions or would like the slides, please send an email to biosview@protonmail.com. Feel free to add me on LinkedIn as well. Mention BIC 2023 in your message. I want to give additional shout outs to my colleague Lucas Potter and to Michaela Burnett. Thanks so much.